The city felt unusually empty tonight. Streetlights flickered as if warning me to hurry. Shadows stretched long across the wet pavement. I walked faster, clutching my bag tightly. I felt a presence before I saw it. A chill slid down my spine. Every step I took echoed louder than normal. The echo seemed wrong, almost delayed. I turned my head casually. Nobody was there. I breathed a little easier. Then the feeling returned. Heavy, quiet, patient. Footsteps mirrored mine, but never overlapped. I stopped. The footsteps stopped too. I moved again. So did they. A street corner separated us. I dared not look back. The hum of a distant car engine offered no comfort. I took the long way home. Every alley seemed darker than the last. Every window stared like a pair of eyes. The sound of my own heartbeat became deafening. I heard nothing else. No whisper of clothing, no rustle of leaves, no cough, no sigh. Yet the sense of being hunted persisted. I reached my building and fumbled for my keys. The door felt heavier than usual in my hand. I paused. A shadow flickered across the glass panel. I slammed the door behind me, locked it with trembling fingers. The hallway was dim and silent. I leaned against the wall, trying to steady my breath. A noise came from the stairs. Slow, deliberate footsteps. Not mine. Closer than anyone should be. I moved to the apartment door. Keys barely fit. Every small sound seemed to echo through the building. The footsteps continued. I turned the key and slipped inside. I locked the door. Every lock, every bolt. My apartment was small, but suddenly suffocating. The shadows seemed to crawl along the walls. I could feel them watching. The faintest tap on the window made me jump. I knew nobody was outside. The phone lay on the table. I picked it up and stared at the screen. No messages, no missed calls, nothing. Still the presence lingered. I moved to the kitchen. I tried to make a sound, a cup clinking or a tap running. Silence swallowed it instantly. Nothing broke the oppressive quiet. A draft brushed my neck. I turned quickly. The hallway was empty. I knew the presence was inside now. The lights flickered, then went out. The darkness pressed in. My own shadow felt like a stranger. A slow, measured breath. Not mine. Close. Right behind me. I spun around. The room was empty. Every corner, every doorway, every shadow held nothing and everything at once. The phone rang. I did not answer. The sound of it cut through the silence like glass. Then stopped. A whisper, so soft it might have been my imagination. But I knew it was not. I could not see him. I could not hear him. I could not move, yet I could feel him standing there, waiting. The air grew colder. The shadows lengthened. My own reflection in the window stared back at me. But something was behind it. I tried to scream. No sound came. The room tilted, darkness folding around me. I realized he was no longer outside. I stood frozen, feeling the weight of the darkness pressing down. The shadows in the corners of my apartment no longer obeyed the angles of the walls. They shifted, curling toward me like living smoke. My own breathing sounded loud, ragged, and wrong. I tried to convince myself it was fear playing tricks. The room was small. I had been here alone countless nights. Yet tonight was different. The air was heavier, almost viscous, and it clung to my skin. The whisper returned, closer now, just inches from my ear. I could not understand the words. They were not words I had ever heard. But the intent was clear. Do not move. I obeyed without thinking. I sank to the floor, my back against the wall. My hands trembled as I pressed them to my ears. The silence was shattered by the faintest of footsteps. Slow, deliberate, and unrelenting. They were inside my apartment. I knew it without seeing him. The presence filled every inch of space. It was impossible to escape. My phone buzzed violently on the table. I dared not touch it. The vibrations matched the rhythm of the footsteps. Closer, always closer. The whisper became a low hiss. It circled me, slithering along the walls, crawling under my skin. I could feel it in my chest, pushing down, making it hard to breathe. My heart pounded as if trying to escape my own body. I inched toward the door, the only possible exit. Every movement was measured, careful, silent. I reached for the handle. My fingers barely grazed it. A sudden chill raced through the room. The whisper hissed, warning me. Stop. I froze. Time stretched into something unrecognizable. Seconds felt like hours. The shadows deepened. The darkness gathered in a single corner, twisting like a vortex. And then I saw it. A figure. Tall. Faceless. Standing just at the edge of the light. Its presence sucked warmth from the room. It did not move, but I could feel it shift. My mind screamed for me to run. My body refused. It watched, patient, silent. The walls seemed to shrink. Air became thick and metallic in my throat. I tried to scream again. This time a sound escaped. A strangled, rasping noise that echoed off the walls. It did not react. It did not blink. It only waited. I backed away slowly, trying to reach the living room window. I needed light. I needed air. The figure followed without sound. Each step, each subtle motion, perfectly synchronized with my own. It was impossible. The phone rang again. I dared not answer. The sound was different this time. Not electronic. Not mechanical. It was a whisper, coming from the phone itself. Your fear tastes good. I dropped it. The figure did not react. The shadows grew taller, merging into the corners, filling every space it had not yet claimed. I was surrounded. Completely. I stumbled toward the kitchen. Anything to put distance between us. The lights flickered, then failed entirely. Darkness consumed me. Cold seeped into my bones. Then I felt it. A hand. Impossible, because there was no hand. No body. Yet the cold pressed against my shoulder, sharp, deliberate. I spun around. Nothing. I screamed. This time the sound filled the apartment. It echoed back to me, distorted, like my own voice was not mine. The figure stepped closer, though I had not seen it move. I could hear its breath now. Not human. Not living. I ran toward the bedroom. Every step felt like moving through water. The air thickened, suffocating me. The door was just ahead. I slammed it shut. Locked it. Every lock. The room was dark, but I could see it through the shadows. It pressed against the door from the other side. The walls shook slightly with the force of its presence. I backed into the corner, clutching the edge of the bed. Then silence. So deep it was unbearable. I could hear my own blood moving. My own pulse. My own fear. A single whisper, right in my ear. Closer than the shadows. I felt the breath. Cold. Dead. Intent clear. Do not hide. The lights flickered back. For a moment, I saw the apartment as it truly was. Everything ordinary. Every chair, every table, every wall. Nothing out of place. I turned toward the bedroom mirror. And saw him. Standing behind me. Faceless. Silent. Watching. I screamed again. This time the sound was swallowed by the room. The figure leaned closer, and then vanished. The air felt lighter. The shadows receded. I collapsed on the floor, shaking, tears streaming down my face. I told myself it was over. That it was gone. The phone buzzed. One message. No sender. No words. Only a single photograph. Me. Sleeping. At home. And in the corner of the photo. A shadow. Tall. Faceless. Waiting. I knew then it had never left. It followed me. Everywhere. Silent. Patient. And it would wait until the next time I was alone. Days passed, but the apartment felt different. Even in bright sunlight, shadows lingered where they should not. The air felt heavier, charged with a quiet threat. I could not shake the feeling that I was being watched. I tried to leave, go somewhere far, anywhere familiar. Every street looked the same. Every passerby felt like they could be him, waiting silently. At night, I slept with all the lights on. Locked doors, multiple locks, even makeshift barriers. I told myself it was over. I told myself it had left. But sleep never came fully. Then one evening, I returned home. The apartment seemed normal, quiet, peaceful, safe. I dared a small, hopeful breath. I placed my bag down and turned to the window. The reflection caught my eye. For a heartbeat, everything seemed normal. Then I saw it, a figure, just beyond the glass. Faceless, silent, standing still. Its shadow stretched long across the room. Closer than before. I swallowed hard. No scream came. No panic. Only the raw, steady realization. It would always follow me. Always wait. I stepped back from the window. The shadow remained, watching, patient, silent. I could not leave. I could not fight. All I could do was breathe, and accept that some presences never leave. The city hummed outside. Lights flickered in the distance. The apartment felt alive with unseen eyes. I sat on the floor, heart racing, yet strangely calm. It was there, always there, and now, somehow, I had to live with it. The phone buzzed. No message this time, no photograph, just a vibration against the table. I ignored it. I did not need to see it. I felt it, a quiet companion, waiting, and for the first time, I understood. Some shadows do not fade. They do not vanish. They do not leave. They simply follow, always.